What's up, everybody? This is Robert again with an update. I had to make this video. As you know, Tesla just dropped the new Model 3 refresh, and they've done some other updates to their lineup. So it's really exciting for those that have been waiting to buy a Tesla, especially for those who have been waiting for the rumors to drop to see, is this real? There's a lot of updates that we've been anticipating and seeing for times. Let's get into it. So the Model 3, what has changed? So a few things. One is there's new rims. So the Model 3 has new Aero wheels as well as new 19-inch wheels as well, which is available on the long range and standard range version. So the sport rims have been updated. I personally don't like these as much as the previous version, but with all changes, maybe it's something that'll grow on you. But in my opinion, the rims, the reason why I think there is such a range increase, so that's the other update, is that all lineups from the Y and the 3 across the board have gotten range boosts, which without a battery increase, which is interesting. And we know that the reason why these Aero rims are used is because of efficiency. There's less drag on the car, and the wheels create significant drag when you have spokes that are open and there's a lot of airflow that's going through them. That creates friction, thus decreasing the range. Bigger rims have more weight. It's harder to pull the car forward. And a lot of people pull off the Aero covers because they like the rims underneath. It'll be interesting to see what these look like, if they're the same or not. It might just be a cover design change, which impacts the range as well. So let's get into the range. The Model 3 now has a range of 353 miles for the long range and 263 miles for the standard range plus. These are both very nice improvements across the board of about 5 or 6%. And there's also been updates to the look of Chrome delete. So what Chrome delete means is anywhere there was Chrome, it was deleted and thus is now black. This wouldn't technically be a Chrome delete. This seems like it's fresh from the manufacturer. They're not wrapping Chrome, they're not painting Chrome. It is actually black and matches the look of the Model Y, which is here, which stock had the black look all the way around. So if we go back to the 3 as well, it looks like all the paint prices are the same as before. The purchase price is the same, which is amazing because that has been a big factor when you get updates. We've seen this with Apple and their iPhones. As they're adding new things, the price typically goes up. And this is also beneficial for those in the used car market, as the previous generation car is going to go down in price. The other thing that is also really exciting about this is that for the performance, that got a range boost. But if we look at the details here in the configurator, across the board, including the standard range plus, all cars have a power trunk. That is huge. So right now, the trunk manually you can open from the Tesla app or manually open it, but it stays closed. This is a departure from the Y, which has a power trunk, which is more of a power lift gate. The 3 didn't have that. The S does, and so does the X. So this kind of puts that more in line, and they didn't increase the price for that option either or make it an add-on, which is amazing. The 3 performance also got a change. I personally like the old performance rims prior to this change. This is the Uber turbines and likely the same exact setup as the Y, which also on the performance version has these rims. They didn't change the rims on the Y for the long range, which is still the Gemini. For the Aero and the induction wheels look exactly the same as before. The Y only change it looks like is they got a range increase of 10 miles, and the interior as well as the same as before. And we'll get into what interior changes on the 3 has happened. So for the 3, the performance rims, getting back to that, these are more aerodynamic, I think. We know how much I was talking about before on how aerodynamics affects the range. So that's a likely change here and just makes manufacturing easier because these matte black trim parts as well as the rims are now the same as the Y, and that is always great for scalability and production. The other change that you'll notice is that across the board, the 0 to 60 time has been impacted for the performance version. So the 0 to 60 on the performance for the 3 has slowly ticked down. It started at 3.5 and then it went down to 3.2 and now it's 3.1. And then for the Model Y, this 0 to 60 time has also changed as well, which looks like there are performance increases across the board. Let's go back to the configurator to confirm that. And The 0 to 60 is 4.8 on the long range, which seems the same, but it's now 3.5 on the performance. I think this was either 3.6 or something else. But for the 3, this is now 3.1, so that's a nice performance, which is usually a software tweak, which means the software played probably a big part as well with the efficiency. The other item that I can't tell is there were rumors that there are double pane glass coming into play for the 3. I don't see this written anywhere on the car and as well as other parts of the website. So whether or not that has happened, we'll have to wait for something from Tesla, or when these cars actually get delivered, we'll have other reviews on the online that'll kind of confirm that. But if it does, that's going to be a huge benefit for a variety of reasons. The main two for me, especially being in Arizona, is heat transfer. So I've tinted all my windows, but double pane, as we know, if you have double pane windows in your home and you came from single, it's a complete difference in heat transfer, as well as noise reduction is going to be a big benefit, as this car has been notorious for being very loud. The S and the X have been much better for cabin noise. The 3 is quite loud. Like it's way louder than my wife's old Honda Insight. I have in any car. My mom's got a Mazda CX-5. It's so much quieter than this car, and it's nothing to do with the engine. It just the noise transfer from the tires, from the road, and the outside wind is just it's ridiculous. So the double pane should hopefully fix that. I don't see it here, but the fact that every other rumor that and leaked photos has actually been implemented into the car, it hopefully is good news for other owners. I'm actually curious on the glass thickness, how that'll affect, because double pane in a residential sense is a pane of glass and another pane of glass, and then there's gas in the middle that really helps block out heat and noise. So we'll see if this car has it. The last piece is on the Model Y. We've also seen the performance as well go up by 10 miles in range on the long range, and then it looks like um, above 300 now for performance, which was below 300 prior to this update. So about a 10-mile range increase across the board there, and then no other changes that I can see. The piano black center console looks to be exactly the same for the Y. I can't imagine that staying too long because it makes sense from a manufacturing standpoint to have the same center console across the 3 and the Y, since now the 3 has a new center console. This is now, it looks a little bit more luxurious. I don't know if I say the look is better than before, but I will say from the look and aesthetic and functionality of having a matte center console versus a piano shiny black, which if you have a 3 or Y, incredible fingerprint magnet. Like your finger, it's so gross. It just gets so dirty. I have a microfiber cloth I keep in the center console to wipe it, but there's only so much you can do, and it scratches super easily. So I hope this change is a welcome change. And I do hope as well the dock for your phones is deeper, because I have a Galaxy S20 with a case and it always fell through. Like, and I also have an aftermarket wireless charger from Tesla. It wasn't the built-in one, so maybe it's been improved generally, but this overall look is different, should help with fingerprints, aesthetic, and then hopefully the phone can sit there and not fall through anything, since now it looks like there's no entryway from where the phone sits into where the center console was and hitting the storage bin, which before it did. So that'll be a nice change, and hopefully will work a lot better. And everyone always had issues opening the center console. You could like press on it, or if when you close it, it would open back up, and then the screen would say do it more gently, and which is really weird, but I get it, to open it if you press it to have it come back and open up. For those of you that don't own one and don't know what I'm talking about, this sounds kind of crazy, and you just never have to deal with that problem. So these have been amazing updates. I hope for those of you that have been waiting, this is a welcome change. I can't wait to see what Tesla has next in stores. These cars are just getting better all the time. I hope for those of us who do have these vehicles, and this is mostly or at least partially through software, we all get that software deployed to the rest of the fleet and can enjoy the increased range to these vehicles. But that's it from me. Tesla's been great. These updates have been great, and we'll see a nice bump in sales for Q4, as that's probably another reason, as this delivery of 5 to 9 weeks will land all orders happening now over the next week through November and December, depending on where you are located in the US. And for those of you tuning in internationally, I hope these updates come to you soon if they haven't reached you already. And that's it. Talk to you on the next one. enjoy. And if you don't own a Tesla yet and now you do, welcome to the community. We're glad to have you. Take care.